Ever been with someone who, at first, feels like a dream? Magnetic, charming. They know just how to turn you on, make you feel like you're the only one in the room. But then, the cracks start showing, and you start wondering, what the hell is going on here? Here's the thing no one tells you. Narcissists don't have a solid sense of self. They're like actors in a play, always shifting, always performing, especially when it comes to sex. They're not there for you. They're there for them. They use sex to control, to manipulate, to feed their ego. They don't know love. They don't even know connection. What they know is power. And they'll use every trick in the book to make you feel like you're in love with them. But in reality, you're just another audience member. In this video, I'm going to break down 5 sexual secrets narcissists keep buried deep. And trust me, you're going to want to hear this. It's time to stop being their pawn and start seeing the game for what it is. Ready? Let's go. 1. Sexual fluidity with narcissists. You ever notice how they change in bed? One minute, they're everything you ever wanted. The next, it's like they're a completely different person. And it's not an accident. Here's the thing. Narcissists don't have a stable sexual identity. They're like chameleons, shifting and adapting to whatever they think will give them the most admiration. They're not trying to connect. Hell no. They're trying to manipulate you into worshiping them. They'll become whatever you want them to be in bed. That's their game. They'll mold themselves into your fantasies, make you think they're the partner of your dreams. But the truth? It's all a performance. Nothing more. They don't care about you. They care about the praise. And once they've got that, they've got control. But here's the truth. Once they have you, once you've bought into their act, they'll stop pretending. You'll feel it. The passion will fade. You'll be left staring at someone you don't even recognize, wondering if you were ever in love with the real them, or just some version of them they sold you. All right, let's keep this rolling. We've peeled back the first layer. Now let's go deeper. I'm telling you, if you've ever been in the tangled web of a narcissist, these next truths are going to hit hard. Let's rip off the rest of the mask. 2. Sex as a performance and distraction. You know how at first, sex with a narcissist feels like fireworks? Intense, explosive, mind-blowing. You're in the moment, feeling connected, like this is it. But here's the truth. You're not connected. You're part of the show. They're performing for you. And when that act starts to fade, so what does the intensity? Narcissists don't do intimacy. They don't do love. What they do is distraction. For them, sex is like an emotional band-aid. It's a way to avoid confronting their deep-seated shame. They're so terrified of their own self-loathing that they use sex as a distraction, a way to pretend there's something they're not. They'll burn bright in the beginning, but that fire? It's not real. It's just smoke and mirrors. As time goes on, you'll notice it. The passion you once felt? It starts to feel obligatory, mechanical. They're still going through the motions, but it's just a way to maintain their image, keeping you around, keeping you hooked without actually having to give anything back. And you're left feeling insignificant, like a prop in a performance, waiting for the show to be over. 3. Sexual shame and blame. Here's the thing. Narcissists are deeply ashamed of who they are, but they'll never tell you that. They won't own up to it because that would mean facing the truth. Instead, they project. They deflect. And what better way to do that than to blame you? Sex with a narcissist becomes a game of blame shifting. When things go wrong, when the connection is broken or the spark is gone, they're not the problem. Nope, it's you. Maybe you're not good enough. Maybe you don't measure up. They'll make it seem like your fault because facing their own sexual dysfunction would be too damn painful. This is the game they play. They blame you for everything. The emotional distance? Your fault. The awkwardness in bed? You didn't do something right. They'll tear down your self-esteem while avoiding any responsibility for their own issues. And you'll wonder, how did I get here? You didn't deserve this. But they'll make you think you did. And by the time you realize they're just deflecting their own shame, it's too late. 4. Sexual sadism and feeding off pain. This is the dark side, the one nobody talks about. But you need to know it, because if you've been with a narcissist, you've probably experienced it without realizing what it was. Narcissists, especially the sadistic ones, get off on power. They feed on vulnerability, and they'll use sex to dominate you. They don't care about your pleasure, your needs, or your connection. They care about control. They want to break you down emotionally, make you feel small, insignificant. They want to feel powerful, and they use sex as a weapon to achieve that. There's a perverse satisfaction they get from seeing you hurt. They thrive off it, and they'll twist intimacy into something that reasserts their control. It's not about love. It's about dominance. They're enjoying the imbalance, the vulnerability they've created in you. They'll push your boundaries, test your limits, because to them, this is their high. And when you're too exhausted, too broken to fight back, they've won. And to them, that's the ultimate satisfaction. 5. Mental infidelity and fantasizing about others. You were there in the moment, thinking everything was great. You were physically together. You were in bed, close, intimate. But mentally, that narcissist wasn't there. They were a million miles away. You see, narcissists can't connect. Not really. They need novelty to stay excited. And the problem is, you aren't enough. Not in their mind. It's not that you're bad in bed or not attractive enough. Hell no. It's that they need to objectify. They need something new, someone new, to feed that insatiable hunger for admiration, for control. While you're lying next to them, your partner might as well be thinking about someone else. Someone better. Someone who will give them the high they're chasing. And they won't tell you this. Oh no. They'll keep pretending like they're present, like they're all in. But if you really look closely, you'll see the mental absence, the lack of emotional connection. It's like you're just a body to them. And as far as they're concerned, you're not the one they fantasize about. This is a form of emotional cheating, even when they're physically with you. It's the emotional betrayal that's often worse than the physical one. Because while they're with you, they're imagining someone else. They're mentally undressing someone else, someone who fits their fantasy of what they want, not what you offer. It's not about you. It's about control, about objectification. They want to own you without ever having to truly know you. And that's where the infidelity begins. They'll lie next to you, act like nothing's wrong, but inside, their mind is elsewhere. Their heart, even further away. You're just part of their performance. And that is the ultimate betrayal. All right, let's wrap this up, because I know this has hit hard. What you just learned, it's the reality of being with a narcissist. Sex isn't about connection, it's about manipulation. It's about control. They use sex as a weapon to distract, to dominate, and to feed their ego, leaving you empty and emotionally drained. First, they'll shape-shift to be whatever you want, making you think they're the perfect partner. But it's a performance, not real intimacy. Then, when the fireworks fade, the intensity dies because they're not emotionally connected. They're just using sex to mask their own self-loathing. They project their shame onto you, blame you for every misstep, never taking responsibility for their own dysfunction. And worst of all, they'll use sex to control you, derive pleasure from your pain, and fantasize about someone else, even while you're right there with them. You deserve better than that. You deserve honesty, respect, and real intimacy. So if you're tired of being a pawn in their game, hit that subscribe button, give us a like, drop a comment below, and let's talk more about how to break free from narcissistic manipulation. And hey, don't forget to check out our other videos for more real talk like this. You're not alone in this. Keep fighting the good fight.